Good morning, friends. It's Tammy, and we're getting ready to do some resin today. This is video number 4, and I'm glad you're here. It's another snowy day here in Michigan, and we've got all kinds of stuff that we demolded from yesterday. Here are the snowflakes. They turned out beautiful. Those are going to go in coasters, and we need a couple more of these. So I got the molds out here. Here's that cool blue scorpion. I think I'm going to make him into a magnet for my fridge. He's super cool. 3 magnet kitties. We've really made enough kitties though, so we're not going to make any more of those. Here's that soap dish with the flowers and then the gold leaf behind it. There's one little repair that I have to make to this one, and it's got a little hole. And then this one is the coaster holder for the snowflake coasters. So we'll put this away. We'll put this away. And I did not prepare a cup ahead of time. So you get to mix with me. Mix with me. And something that I want to say about your stuff curing is that since I do these every day, sometimes everything isn't perfectly cured yet when I take it out. So I make sure that I put it on a flat surface for it to continue to cure after we demold it. I've heard both 4 to 6 weeks for things to be fully cured and 30 days for things to be fully cured. So take that into consideration when you're taking stuff out of the mold in just a day. Sometimes I leave them for 2. If it's something delicate like a huge clock face or a wall hanging, something like that. So that's how that goes. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today we're planning on pouring this across 2 more snowflakes. We have coasters for these snowflakes to go into, and maybe 1 more soap dish, maybe, but I have to repair this one too, and that'll be a good lesson. I don't think you guys need any lessons. I think you're all fabulous, but we'll just see about repairing this little soap dish so that he can be used and the flowers won't get damaged. Now usually I have this all mixed up ahead of time and let it sit a little bit to let the small air bubbles come up, and I just didn't do that today. I was in a hurry to come talk to you guys. I love that blue glitter that we've been using for the snowflakes. It's going to match the coaster set and the coaster holder, so I'm going to continue with that color for the snowflakes. We don't have much of that blue left, so I have to kind of be careful. Make sure when you're mixing up your resin that you don't do it too vigorously to knock in more air bubbles, and make sure that it's mixed thoroughly. If you leave any spots that aren't mixed completely thoroughly, it will not cure. It'll be a sticky mess and it'll ruin your whole project. And we don't want that. Make sure you scrape the edges. You scrape the edges all the time. And so far with this Let's Resin, I have not had any flash cures, no blushes when they react with temperature or humidity, and they do a funky cure. Sometimes it like bubbles up when they flash cure. It's terrible. But so far with Let's Resin, I haven't had that at all. All right, we look good. Let me just make sure I get the edges real good. And then we just want a tiny amount. Let me put my glasses on. I got old eyes. Just a little bit for that spot. I'm just going to drip in just a little bit. And for this other side, just drip in just a little bit. And that is perfect. That never happens, that it's perfect like that. So I'm going to set this over on the heater, on a flat surface on my heater, so that it can cure and heal up there. I'm going to pour some in here for the blue, for the snowflakes. And we've got our beautiful blue that I'm determined to use up in here. Oh dear. I love that blue. It's the perfect snowflake blue. It's perfect. Make sure I get the sides. And then I'm going to put it in here carefully. Up and down the arms. We might have extra of this to do something fun with. Let me do that. So why don't you guys tell me what kind of resin you guys like? By the way, Let's Resin does not pay me to say that I like their resin, and also they do not send me resin or anything like that. I just really love it. I'm going to do a thicker layer, because remember yesterday that it was just a little thin and it wasn't very strong. So I'm going to do a little more here. So tell me in the comments, if you can, what kind of resin you really like. Maybe I'll try some. Maybe we'll try some on here and see how it goes. Okay, and we'll move down to this one. This middle one doesn't do too well in coasters, this middle snowflake, because it's got too many small teeny tiny parts and the clear doesn't want to come up them. So I don't use that middle one, not for coasters. But these coasters are going to be beautiful. They're clear with the blue snowflake floating in it. This is a good amount of resin. All right, let's just add a touch more. I don't want this one to be too thin. And then we'll just let it settle in. And that's good. Okay. Let's see if we have enough for this cross. I really liked this blue cross. So that first one is gone. So I wanted to make another one and maybe keep this one to myself. I rarely do that, but I really love this blue. And that is the perfect amount, almost like I measured it. Just like that. Ta-da! Then we, alcohol, 99% isopropyl alcohol to help those little air bubbles come up. Now we got a bunch of resin left over for our coaster and for our soap dish. Let's see. I'm going to take this out, put a little clear in for the bottom of the snowflake just to make sure there's no air holes. Then I'm going to set the snowflake in there. It's beautiful. And then pour it up the rest of the way. Ooh, did I over pour? Did I? I think I did over pour just a tad. Just a tad. And we'll move him over so he's in the center. Hopefully he won't float away. And isopropyl. Isopropyl. Now let's see. We're going to do this aqua blue in this soap dish. I'm going to be way generous with this aqua blue because sometimes it's a real light color and it has a hard time showing up. But what I'm going to do is some like silvery white and pour it in. It won't just stay in those grooves when I pour. And I want plenty of color to mix around in there. And then where is the white? Silver white. Put some in the cup. That's pretty generous. That's what that silver white looks like. I'm going to mix it up in there. I'm trying to be smooth with my actions and not beat a bunch of air into it. It already gets enough air even when you don't try too much. I'm looking at the bottom. It looks real good. You know what? I think I want a little more. Let's put a little more in. I don't want it to be thin. Well, that's a lot more. But we love mica. We love mica. We'll mix that in. There's little mica flakes floating in the air now. It's like Christmas in here. Okay, we're ready to pour. Let's pour this. And normally I would not recommend pouring really close to your other projects like this. But I want to make sure everything is in camera so you can see. And don't over pour it, Tam. Let me just scrape just a little bit. I don't like the back to indent, so I almost overfill it. Almost. And then, of course, when these pieces are all done, we clean the edges. My husband helps me with that part. And sand them. And put little feet on and, you know, finish it up before we sell anything. Oh, that's pretty. Just some gentle little waves. Does that sound like Bob Ross? Gentle little waves. Happy little wave. All right, that's beautimous. I can see the colors throughout down here too, so that's good. Let's see how that turns out. And that looks good for today. We have 2 snowflakes across this that needs to be bumped again. There's a little air bubble right there that I don't like. Really, seriously, you could sit here and fuss over everything for hours while it's curing. They're so fun. I call them my babies because they are curing. All right. Thank you, you guys. Have a great day. And keep playing with resin.